Has Triple H's next major WWE star been revealed? Plus, the TNA future is in doubt for multiple top names. And a classic WWE gimmick is making its indie comeback next week. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling News right now. On NXT on Tuesday nights, there is one particular person that is really catching the eye of the top brass in WWE.
Yes, according to Fightful, officials in NXT have been impressed with Oba Femi's performances since becoming NXT North American champion, with one NXT source noting that Femi is expected to do big things in WWE, describing him as someone WWE views as a future WWE champion.
That's massive. Officials have been surprised by Femi's development in the short time he's been on television, with the viewpoint of him being the total package, not Lex Luger, being a common one backstage. One source also noted that WWE sees Femi as a source of untapped potential and do not have any plans to rush Femi to the main roster despite his surging popularity. They want to take this low and slow.
On one hand, I think that's okay, but on the weekly podcast we do, myself, Ross, and Matthew all noticed, I think in his first week in the breakout tournament he was in to get this title shot, which he's then won the North American title with, we noticed instantly like, oh, this guy's something special. And I don't think it's because necessarily he's that slick and polished in the WWE style. I think it's because he's a massive powerhouse and you go, wow, look at this guy. I get that maybe they'll want him to kind of get his reps in and all that sort of thing, but if he's already the NXT North American champion, is he not already well on his way? I just want him on the main roster. I want him versus Gunther. I want planets exploding. I want it now.
Give it to me now. I have no patience.
Yeah.
I don't care how. I want it now. I think he's great. He's got such an aura about him. He really has. And there's not many that come along that have that kind of aura.
Not so soon as well.
Especially not so soon.
And he's good on the mic as well. You might think, oh, big guy in the ring, whatever, but can he talk? Yes, he can. He's good on promos as well.
Really nice energy about him. And according to some people within WWE, future WWE champion. The future is slightly different for two stars from TNA, apparently.
It's my boys, Tom.
That's your boys.
The Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. The Guns are, their contracts seem that they're possibly expiring at the end of this month. Peter Burnside also reveals that Shelley and Sabin are booked for Smash Wrestling in London, Ontario, Canada on April 21st, which interestingly, and perhaps tellingly, is the same day as TNA's post-Rebellion TV tapings. So could Rebellion be a farewell for the boys?
It could very well be. The other school of thought to it, as opposed to it being a farewell for your boys, is that it might lead to Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin working on a per appearance basis as opposed to being contracted. Obviously, when you're contracted, it means that all the other things that are going on, they are secondary to when TNA need you. So when working without a contract, then you kind of can choose the business when you do it. And a lot of people think that this booking for April 21st might not necessarily mean that it's the end for the Motor City Machine Guns, but it certainly might be the end of them as contractually obligated talent.
Which I think would be a tremendous shame because not only have they got all the history in TNA and remain big favourites in the promotion as well, but also because as well as being this legendary tag team, they in recent years have been a very integral part of the singles divisions in TNA. With I think Sabin won the X Division Championship again very recently. Shelley had that world title run as well. So it's definitely going to leave gaps in the card if this is the case that TNA are going to try and have to fill. Fortunately for them, they do have a very talented roster to do so.
They absolutely do. We're yet to hear comments from Alex Shelley or Chris Sabin at this time. Both have been really key parts of Impact turning into TNA, major parts of the recent pay-per-view events as well. So it will be interesting to see what the future holds in store for them. I think that they're still a tag team with plenty of fuel in the tank to take it elsewhere and take their magic to different places. Who knows where they could land. Tonight, AEW Dynamite, it's coming out of Toronto, and it's going to be headlined by Adam Copeland and Christian Cage in an I Quit match for the TNT title. When Copeland had a chat with the Toronto Sun, Jack, do we think he gave away a little bit of what might be happening?
I just I love this story, and it depends on what happens tonight. But Copeland said in the Toronto Sun, to me, the place is always the most important thing, as in the city in which the match is taking place, and the opponent as well. It was a no-brainer. It was like, this is the match that's going to happen at Revolution, and my way of thinking was, well, that's Sting's night, and they deserve all the bells and whistles for his last match. With this being an I Quit match, we were going to need some bells and whistles. So that explains why he pushed for it to be on a separate night. He said, in looking at the schedule, Toronto popped up, and it was as if it feels like we should do this in Toronto and not in Greensboro. It was already a loaded show. It didn't need us, but we can get to Toronto and we can do this right. For me, that's kind of what this has been. It's the culmination of a 40-year story. So if you have any opportunity to culminate in a story that long, why not do it where you both grew up? And I think that's a brilliant point. Well made from Adam Copeland there. But I wonder, there's another reason for him not wanting this on Revolution, because he's going to bloody win. Has he not confirmed, but has he heavily implied a title switch there?
Because a title change, well, for two reasons. You don't do the I Quit match on that show because, as I said, the aforementioned bells and whistles, if you've got a gimmicky and plundery I Quit match, it might take away from the gimmicky and plundery retirement match that we saw, which you're right,
and I get. And it's a very fair point from him there as well, and I agree with that.
But also, a big title win for Adam Copeland, I think, does deserve its own spotlight on it.
And I wonder if that's also been a factor in his thinking. It's obviously not what he said here, because you've got to keep the results of the match a secret. That's wrestling.
Have you? Oh no, it's a terrible error.
Imagine if he'd gone, oh yeah, we couldn't do our Revolution because I'm actually winning it. Oh no. But also,
if I was a wrestler, I definitely do that by accident.
And I'm not saying you can't have multiple big babyface wins on one show, but I think thematically maybe it would have been just a bit too similar to Sting winning, because he's this big legend coming to the end of his career, and so is Edge. Oh, Adam Copeland. And I think I more agree with this point about the bells and whistles and the type of match and not wanting too much of that on the same show. But I wonder if another reason is possibly because he is going to win. And he says it's the culmination of the story. Surely it'll end with the good guy winning, right?
You would have thought so. We will find out on Dynamite tonight from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Big thank you to the chap on Twitter. I apologise, I've completely forgotten your name, but your name will be behind us, who's taking a total non-stop arsehole sign to the show this evening. Thank you very much indeed. Don't show it to Jeff Jarrett. He'll be furious.
Good luck.
Ooh, this is exciting. Last story to end on. Buzzing for this. So he's been popping up a little bit in the wrestling lately. This feels like the proper return for Pirate Paul Burchill. Avast ye! Come on!
And you'll never guess the promotion, but last night at Black Label Pro, which is very fitting as in piratey sort of themes go, it announced that the latest entrant into their Big Cheese Champ... Wait a minute. Is Black Label Pro, is that a pirate? I'm sure I've seen a logo looking all piratey. Or does it mean that's like an alcohol thing, isn't it?
From now on...
Is that like whiskey?
Yeah, but I want to take your version where we have decided, hi to our friends at Black Label Pro, you are apparently a pirate-themed wrestling promotion.
I think in my head I've gone like Black Flag, sailing the seven seas. No way, no.
No, they'll love that. Let's talk directly to Black Label Pro. Ahar, me hearties. Ye be putting on a great show, and we be excited to see Paul Burchill there.
Is there another American indie that I've mixed you up with Black Label Pro who are more piratey? I'm so sorry.
Pirate Pro Wrestling.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, yeah, Pirate Pro. How could I forget?
The Shiver Me Timber Street fight last year's WrestleMania week. It was amazing.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Black Label Pro. Unless you've done piratey stuff before. Anyway, Pirate Paul Burchill has been announced as the latest entrant in their Big Cheese Championship Rumble taking place at the Squared Circle Expo next week. The graphic features Burchill in his pirate attire, suggesting that this is the version of Paul that we will get. He made just a handful of wrestling appearances over the last few years, resurfacing most recently on NWA Power.
Yeah,
but I'm excited for this.
I think Paul Burchill's really good. And he's technically a great wrestler. The pirate gimmick is just one of my favorite sort of oversights in wrestling. Just it absolutely did not get the love and the respect that it deserved, and it really annoyed me when it came and went. And then you hear the stories about how management went. Well, one particular manager in question, you know who went, no one likes pirates, despite the fact it was the height of the Pirates of the bloody Caribbean.
It was the mid-2000s.
No one cares about pirates. Pal, here's a meat wrap. You know who, I'm not saying their name. But yeah, so I'm glad
that Hurst Helms.
Black Label Pro.
Oh, no.
No, I'm glad. I am so glad that we're getting Pirate Pirate Paul Burchill.
Yes, me
That's
too.
my favourite Paul of all the Pauls, including you, Paul Levesque.
Including you, Levesque.
Get you at the Alamo. I'm buzzing to see Pirate Paul Burchill do his thing at Black
Me
Label
too.
Pro.
I'm buzzing for WrestleMania week. I love it. I always love what a just a spectacular mess it is with all different promotions, all different styles of wrestling, all jammed into one city. It always makes for fantastic viewing, if and where you can find the shows, of course.
Speaking of fantastic viewing, are you twitching tonight?
Yes, me and Owen are twitching, twitch.tv/Cultaholic from 6 p.m. UK time. Last week we did it. We kept up the Swans, Tom. We were going to get relegated. Rescue mission complete. Now we're delving into the transfer market, and no doubt Owen will sign lots of shiny new toys, which he'll then drop our loyal current players for. That's just what he always does. Sorry for editing this one, Owen. And if you're not, then at least the other editor knows what a scoundrel you are in the transfer market.
Is he like the Tony Khan?
Yeah. Oh, it's such a good shiny new. Oh, get out of here, Ricky Starr. That's what you're doing. Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Cultaholic, 6 p.m. GMT.
Pirate Paul Burchill, what?
I thought you were in Black Label Pro. I assumed their ship came in. More wrestling news throughout the day at cultaholic.com. We love you, Black Label Pro. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.